from the very beginning, we needed financial statements on a daily. We needed financial statements that could be cut in 6 hours on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. They needed to be very versatile. They needed to cover a lot of material, but also be accessible and also be versatile. All at the same time being compliant, being GAAP, all of that. So this was a huge thing that we discussed, the board discussed at the very beginning, and I promised that I would find an accounting firm that understood what it was to be a startup, which means we don't have a ton of money to waste, but we need to spend every possible dollar on making sure that our numbers are that good for compliance reasons, for financial reasons, for investor reasons, for all the good reasons. And that's kind of what led us to AccountLogik. We had a technology platform that created settlement reports. So we just were getting settlement reports for every single day of transactions, and we kept those in a file. That was our accounting. We just didn't have the manpower at the time, and we hadn't met AccountLogik. So what we did was we did a pretty good job of gathering the information on a daily basis, but nothing was done with it until we met you.
Okay, so we kind of helped you to make use of and understand some of the data that you had, basically, and use that for your business.
Yeah, so what AccountLogik did for us is it took all this raw data, which we said was changing, like the foreign currency translation rates had to change every 24 hours necessarily, and sometimes throughout the day. So you had a lot of variability, numbers, and all of that data. Someone had to take it, cut balance sheets, statements of financial position, that is, cut P&Ls, income statements, cut cash flow statements, equity statements. So what AccountLogik did was took raw data that was completely inaccessible, sitting somewhere on a hard drive, bring it into accounting software, online accounting software. So now, because one of the things we wanted, our ethos as a company was this idea of transparency. Everyone should know the numbers. Every single person. We hide nothing from anyone. You're a regulator, you're a banker, you're a potential investor, you are the accountant, you are a team member. You can just log in. So we needed this to happen online. So AccountLogik said, okay, here's the technology to use to have the most online access, the most secure access, and the most diffused access that you could possibly have. And then here are the numbers. So AccountLogik went and cut all that data, repackaged it into financial statements, which we can now, at any point in our day, just hit a button and read all of the financials and know what we've done wrong, know what we've done right, so we can recalibrate. Because in our business, like I said, it's a day-to-day business. So we needed an accounting firm that was also not too big, but also not too small. You know, there was that sweet spot where this is an accounting firm who can be there with you and kind of hold your hand on a daily basis. So AccountLogik checked a lot of boxes and we've done a lot of shopping. Some were too big, some were too small, and nobody quite understood it. And to be honest, AccountLogik has a pretty diverse background in terms of its accountants and what they're able to do. These guys are international people. So they could understand what it means to send money from the US to Egypt or to Kenya or to Ethiopia. You know, they understood that the numbers coming back from that part of the world will come back in a different currency and had to be translated back to US dollars. Like, this is some heavy stuff. So it wasn't just any account. We needed somebody who was versatile, was able to learn, and had a bit of a background in high volume, tiny margin transaction business, and that was AccountLogik. So we needed an accounting solution. We needed it outsourced because we were very bootstrapped and very, very thinly capitalized. So we needed an accounting firm that was outside of us, but was inside of us. And that was the magic word here. I needed an accounting firm that I could pick up the phone or open up my email or open up the accounting software and see everything I needed and ask one or two questions, and I'm there. I need to jump on a call with investors, I can have my accounting firm be on the call as if they were an internal accounting department. So it was a very, I wouldn't call it, it was a very close relationship, and that's what we saw. So as a CEO, I could sit where I sit, do what I do, and know that whenever financial information or financial accounting was an issue, I could pick up the phone and look at my computer, and I know the answers, and I've got my guys, my team right behind me. And I don't have to pay them a salary that I can't afford at this point. I can pay them as consultants. And we looked at very many arrangements that work for us. That's what I liked about AccountLogik the most. It was like, okay, what works for you, Aid Monday? We want to partner with you. We want you to grow. We hope that when you grow and when you get to the point where you can afford to pay more, you'll pay more. But for right now, what will it take to get your financials, to get you to your vision? Those are the questions we were asked, and that's not a question you hear a lot. People come at you with, okay, this is our minimum this, and this is our maximum that. AccountLogik said, how can we partner with you? And those words are just music to any entrepreneur's ears. And that's been the basis of our relationship since. And it's been, I can't explain to you, other than what I have to do to generate the income. The next most important thing is someone to keep my numbers and to keep me on the ball with the IRS, with the regulators, with my investors. And that was AccountLogik. Well, first thing is, I do believe that we've recommended every one of our partner businesses to you. Now, whether you've taken them or not, I'd have to look through my files to find out. But I do recognize that we've had some investors who were in the manufacturing space. And when we were going through with them and they were asking us questions, they got attracted to the quality of our financial statements and asked us a simple question: how are you guys so good at this when we know you can't afford it? And the first thing we did was drop AccountLogik, and I believe they reached out to you, and it wasn't just one company. It's got to be at least 3 companies at this point. So the bottom line is we send every single company to AccountLogik because we really believe in what you guys are doing.